Well, I guess everybody knows what this is about, right? You have the shop-vac hooked up to the dust uh, separator out there, and although they give you little wheels for the dust separator, still is a mess. You have a semi-flexible hose that hooks up the the shop-vac to the dust separator. Then you have another hose that comes from the dust separator to your machine or to your wand or whatever you want to do, suck up dirt with it, or sawdust I should say. And that's not a pretty good. I've seen some little carts that they make where they go side by side, and I have a small shop and I don't have that much real estate. I wanted something that has a very small footprint. So that will be putting the dust separator on top of that vacuum and put some casters on it. So that's exactly what I decided to do. It's about 16 by 16 footprint. Well, here I started to construct this. I have the base, and then I put two pieces of 2x4s in the back, glued together, and bolted together, screwed together. And then I screw it from the back out here. At the end out here, I left a 1.5 by 1.5 on both sides, and I attached it with screws this way, that way, and one screw from the bottom. So there are two risers. The risers are made out of a 2x4 ripped in half. So that way, it's plenty strong to hold the buckets for the dust separator. All right, and here in the front, I put two little stops so the vacuum cleaner, the shop-vac, it won't slide right out of it. And that's about it. See if you stand it up, and that's the way it looks. That's how it looks. Through the side, you see this one comes all the way through, and this one just stops short to have this 2x4 flash out here. And it's supported from both sides, as strong as it can be. Now I'm going to put the shelf out here so it can, where the bucket for the dust separator will sit. When I build this saw, I put a laser beam on it, and I use it for cutting like that on the free hand. That way I don't have to guess where I'm supposed to put it. That way I get myself a perfect cut. If you look against any edges, I got a perfect cut. That laser helps a lot, let me tell you. When you do your freehand cuts, it helps. It takes the guessing game out of it. Okay, now I'm going to install these brackets for the support the dust separator. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue, not too much. Don't need it. That thing is not that heavier. In the future, if I want to change it, it won't be glued to the point I had to destroy it to cut it apart. Alright, first I'm going to put one screw with this thing flashed. Put a spacer out here so I don't have to hold it that much. I'm going to put one screw first. That way I can put my square and adjust it. Make sure it's totally perfectly square. Okay, now I can put the other screw. Oops. It moved from square. Darn it. There. Have to be careful with it. Now I gotta put it, make sure I use some other place. Double check it. Okay. Now I do the same thing on the other side, and then we can put the shelf out here and continue building. Well, now that we have the brackets installed, we're going to cut it where it belongs, 13.5. Not sure what that is. Yeah, 13.5. So let's cut the piece of plywood to those dimensions. Okay, 13.5. Okay, I'm going to put the casters now. Well, here we have basically what it's going to look like after we put the rest of the stuff in. To hold the hose, for example, and the wands and the other attachments. But this is what it looks like. I have my vacuum, which is heavier, on the bottom. Put the bucket, the separator, on the top. And since we have this hose here, and wouldn't reach going all the way around and to the bottom, so I gone to one of the box stores and I bought 2-inch rubber elbows, and they work perfectly with the hoses and the thing. So I put one elbow on the top and one elbow on the bottom coming out of the vacuum cleaner, and I used the attachment that came with a hose a long time ago. So that way I could just do everything I needed just with the 2 elbows. Now the elbows are not that cheap, but it's worth it than trying to buy a whole new hose. And the longer is the hose, the more suction you lose. So this is my best solution that I can find, not to put a long hose and lose some suction, because the longer is your hose, of course, you know, you're going to lose suction. through the drag inside the hose. Especially these hoses, all the hoses for the vacuum cleaners are corrugated so it can bend. It has a lot of drag inside the hose. So, but this one, the solution just worked out right. It's a nice, gentle curve, so you wouldn't lose that much suction either. So that way it's preserved all the, I tried to preserve as much suction as I could. So now let's finish here. I'm going to put something to roll the hose out and the same unit and put the wand and everything else in here. Okay, what I'm going to do, what I'm doing now is making the hole so I can put the different adapters on the top. Okay, now I'm just going to screw that shelf on the top, a couple of screws. Don't need to be super tied up. It don't hold any weight anyways. I just don't want it to come tumbling down, that's all. Okay. Perfect. Now we can get these adapters. And this one I'm going to have to do something different. I didn't realize it. I thought it was wider than the bottom. Well, okay, I figured out how to do it. So I have a little piece of stock, thin piece of stock, no bigger than a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to make the hole elongated with that piece, so it's it'll stop that for falling all the way through. I already drilled the holes, and it's such a little thin piece. I'm going to use panhead screws, so that way when it gets to the head it won't crack. Okay, that should do. There you go. Now I can put my attachments up there. Now I'm going to put this piece out here. One of them is to hold the bucket back with a couple of brackets, strings. Another one, reason for that, is to put that here. and I will have another board coming on the outside. So that way I have a place to put this wand for the vacuum cleaner. You know, when you vacuum it with this stuff. Now this can be mounted out here, and it fits just perfectly, doing the job it's supposed to be doing. Okay. Okay. That's the way we like it. We need to do something in the bottom. I'm going to have to do something in the bottom for that thing not to slip out of there. To do something out there. Otherwise it's going to slip out this way. So that'll be easy. I need another two pieces exactly like the ones I did out here. I think that'll be the most appropriate way to do it. Now I'm putting this one is a little stop at the top, so that way I can fasten the dust separator to something. Just one screw on each side will suffice. Now if you notice, I don't know if you can see it, let me, around the hose coming out of the dust separator into this area. So that way it won't be flopping in the wind out here. It turned out just right. Now I had to put those two in the bottom, and I'm going to prepare them, and then I bring you back. You don't need to see me how to cut that wood. Now I put this here. Okay, that's one side. I put the back side right here. Okay, now I'm going to put the stopper in the back here. There. Now when you put this, remember to leave a little bit of gap out here at the bottom, so it don't be building up a lot of dust. Okay. That's much better. Now, what would you like to do to improve on that? I decided to put a divider right here to keep this from falling over that way. It doesn't make any difference, but it looks a little bit neater. It's not, make sure you leave it a little bit of clay. It's not dragging. It's mostly to keep it neater, but it's not going to accomplish anything really. Okay, that should be it. Now I have to do something to hang the hoses. I mean the long hose. Okay, I was thinking how am I going to make a hanger to hang the hoses. So I came out with this. Here piece of plywood, and I cut it on the bandsaw. So I figure I'm going to put this out here and hang the hose out here. Then I have to make a big hook because the hoses are not that flexible and they don't hang too good. So I will put this out here. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. This hose. Oh, there. Not too bad, not too bad. Not too bad. The only thing is I have this thing sticking out of there, but I don't know what else to do. Well, maybe in the future if I can think of something, I'll do something different. For now, that's good enough. Maybe roll it the other way. And then hooking it up right here. Okay, that works too. Same old, same old. All right, now let's finish up hooking up all the hoses, and we'll give it a try. Okay, now I need to finish up hooking up the bucket, and with this elbows I bought in a big store, it fits like a glove. Let me tell you, I just tighten the clamps a little bit because I'm going to have to remove it when I empty the bucket, of course. Perfect. I'm going to do the same thing out here. Okay, that is good. like to see the dust going around inside the dust separator. Very good, very good.